You attended a funeral and dreamed of ghosts. Then two people appeared, an old woman and your friend. Both claimed the other wanted to harm you. So, who truly wants to harm you? Have you heard the news? Lily died yesterday. Really? How did she die? I'm not sure. After class, let's go to her house and check. Okay. As we were chatting, the teacher walked in. Immediately, the whole class stood up. Then the class monitor reported, "Teacher, one student is absent." The teacher looked at the class and said, "All right, today our class has a funeral, so no need for attendance. And remember to visit your friend and attend the funeral so she can rest peacefully." Yes, we understand. After the teacher's instructions, we began our lesson. Time flew by and soon class was over. We decided to go to our friend's house to attend the funeral and bid her farewell on her final journey. After a short while, we arrived. Hearing the sounds of chanting and even cries of sorrow stirred something within us. Tears welled up, stinging our noses as they streamed down our cheeks in heartache for a friend who had departed too young. Now, we lit incense at the altar and spoke our final words to our friend. "Hey, rest in peace, okay." After everything was done, we returned home. That night, something strange happened to me. As I was drowsily drifting to sleep, I dreamed I was in a school. It was the very school I attended. I saw Lily in the distance. Immediately, I ran towards her and called out, "Hey, what are you doing there, Lily?" Every time I ran closer, she mysteriously vanished, until I saw a man in black holding a knife. Immediately, I thought, "What's happening? Who is this man?" As I was lost in my thoughts, he immediately approached and plunged the knife into my stomach. The sudden attack left me no time to react. I could only scream in agony. Immediately, he pulled out the knife and fled. As I lay writhing on the ground, an eerie laugh echoed. "Ha ha ha, your death is coming." I jolted awake from the dream, still dazed, yet remembering the events clearly. It felt so real, not like an ordinary dream. Immediately, I stopped to think, what on earth just happened? And who was that mysterious man? Why did Lily appear in my dream? She died in a car accident. Why was I stabbed to death by a mysterious man in black in my dream? Could she be trying to imply that she was murdered? As I was still lost in my thoughts, I received a call. It was none other than my best friend. "Hey, come to my house right now, I have something to show you." Hearing those words from my friend, I was bewildered. I wondered what she wanted to show me, calling me at 1 a.m. Out of curiosity, I decided to go see. Besides, that dream earlier was terrifying. It made it impossible for me to sleep again. So, I decided to go to my best friend's house. Then I started knocking repeatedly, shouting, "Hey Mia, open the door for me. Why did you call me here at 4 a.m.? I kept knocking, but no one opened the door. Just as I was about to give up in disappointment, the door finally opened. Then she stared intently at me and said, "Hey, I just discovered a secret. Our friend Lily's soul was stolen, and she's been manifesting in your strange dreams. What's more, I know all this because I can see things normal people can't." "What? It sounds plausible, but I don't believe you. It must just be a normal dream. There's no such thing as ghosts. Anyway, I'm going home now." Hearing those words, my friend immediately handed me an amulet and said, "Take this amulet to keep yourself safe because no one else will protect you. And remember well, don't lose this amulet or disaster will strike you." Hearing those words, I fell silent. What kind of day was this? Why was everything like this? I felt my friend was so superstitious, probably just trying to scare me. I even thought the dream earlier was just a coincidence. After all, I had attended a funeral today, so it was still haunting my mind. Now on my way home, I passed by a bridge. Suddenly, a strange woman dressed in black stared intently at me and asked, "Hey, you have an amulet in your hand, don't you?" I scratched my head and said, "Yes, why, and how did you know I had an amulet?" The woman heard this and exclaimed in alarm, "Oh my goodness, why are you carrying that amulet? This is a soul-summoning charm. I am a monk and I've been cultivating for a while." As I was passing by, I coincidentally sensed a lot of dark energy around you, as if you were using a ghost-nurturing amulet, so I decided to intervene. "What? A ghost-nurturing amulet?" The woman nodded and said, "Yes, someone wants to harm you, even make you a substitute sacrifice for them, which is why they gave you this amulet. They even brought you to a funeral to steep your entire body in dark energy. That makes it easy for spirits to possess your body. Tell me quickly, are you experiencing these things? And are you in pain in your neck right now?" Hearing her accurate predictions, I was utterly terrified. My mind raced. What? Could my friend be trying to harm me? Why would she harm me? We're best friends. And should I trust this woman when she's so accurate? As I was still engulfed in my own confusion, she spoke up. Now, I will show you a way to find out who wants to harm you. Quickly take this willow branch. At night, when you sleep, place it right next to your bed. You will surely discover the amulet's true effect and know who wants to harm you. Hearing those words, I felt bewildered. I didn't understand why she was helping me like this. What was the dream I had? Why was my best friend helping me too, and why was everything pointing towards some mysterious spiritual matter? The more I thought, the more my head ached, leaving my mind in turmoil. What should I do in this situation, or who should I trust? Now, she threw the willow branch to the ground and said, "Listen, if you heed my words, you will surely live. If you don't listen, you will die, so choose. I can only help you this far." As soon as she finished speaking, she left immediately. Meanwhile, I was utterly bewildered. What should I do in this situation, with two strange people orchestrating these spiritual games? So, after a moment, I took a deep breath and thought, well, even though I don't know what's going on, I'll try both approaches to see what happens, and if I'll have that dream again, or if they're just lying and this is some kind of prank. With that, I immediately returned home and resumed my normal activities. Now it was getting late. As I went to the bathroom to brush my teeth and wash my face, I suddenly saw the mirror turn blood red. Immediately, a grotesque, blood-soaked face appeared with a grin stretching to its ears, its deep black eyes staring intensely at me. This terrified me, making me drop my toothbrush to the floor, tears streaming uncontrollably. I collapsed to the ground, crying out, "Ah, a ghost." My parents rushed in from outside, looking bewildered as they stared at me and asked, "Hey, what on earth happened that you're screaming like that?" I immediately pointed at the mirror and said, "Mom, Dad, I just saw a ghost there, and the mirror was red like blood and it tried to kill me." "Mom, Dad." My father looked at the mirror, saw nothing out of the ordinary and said, "You're talking nonsense. There's nothing in the mirror. You've watched too many movies and you're imagining things, aren't you? Now stop bothering your mother and me, brush your teeth, wash your face, and go to bed." So they left, disregarding my words. Meanwhile, when I looked up, I saw nothing anymore. That made me breathe a sigh of relief, and I immediately went to finish my personal hygiene. As time passed, I got into bed to sleep, but suddenly there was incessant knocking from outside. This made me incredibly curious, wondering who was at the door, but more than that, I felt an overwhelming sense of fear. After a moment of deep breathing, I calmed down and decided to go open the door to see who it was. I was still lost in thought when my phone chimed with a message. "Hey, did you meet an old woman this afternoon, and she gave you a willow branch? You were truly foolish to accept it. That demon is tricking you. It's doing that because it wants to take your life. Don't open the door now, stay inside. Understand?" Hearing those words, I was utterly confused, but I decided to listen to my best friend. Meanwhile, a voice from outside called out, "Hey, open the door quickly or you will die. I'm here to save you, not to harm you, unlike that person who's using dark magic on you." Hearing those words, I became frantic. I didn't know whether to open the door or not, fearing that the person outside would die. But inside, I was even more terrified. Suddenly, cold gusts of wind appeared from nowhere, giving me goosebumps, along with chilling sounds like wails in the wind. The sound was very faint, barely audible. Then, in extreme confusion, I felt a strong urge to get up. I was afraid that those howling sounds were a ghost, and those winds meant it was present here, so if I didn't leave, I would die. So I decided to go outside. Meanwhile, my friend's messages kept coming. "Hey, listen to me quickly. Don't open the door, that old woman is truly a demon. She's here to take your life, and she's even the one who killed Lily." Reading that message, I was stunned. Now I knew the truth. Immediately, my friend messaged again, "Actually, I was the one who lured her to you. When she tried to take my life, I brought you to Lily's funeral to pass on the curse I was carrying to you. Because if I didn't, I would die. Now I regret what I did, so I decided to save you. Trust me, don't open the door." Should I trust now? Meanwhile, the old woman's voice rang out, "Listen, if you don't open the door within 15 minutes, prepare to die. I can only help you this far. Everything I do is because I am your family's protector. Your fate is about to end. Whether you continue to live or not is your choice." As soon as she finished speaking, the knocking stopped. It seemed she had left. Meanwhile, the cold winds grew stronger, and even whimpering sounds echoed from behind me, sending shivers down my spine. Immediately, feeling unsafe there, I ran outside and opened the door. I still saw her outside. She immediately grabbed my hand and pulled me away amidst my own confusion. "Hey, what are you doing? Let me go, let go." After a moment, amidst my fear and screams, she led me to a statue and said, "Now, quickly destroy this statue. If you destroy it, you will live, otherwise you will die." Hearing those words, I believed her, because truly I saw nothing here, and I began to suspect my best friend was lying, so there was a hammer nearby. I picked it up and smashed the statue. In a moment, the statue shattered. The old woman laughed and said, "Good, very good, it's done." Now I spoke up. What do you mean?" Moments later, my best friend applauded continuously and stepped out from behind a tree, then said, "Ha ha ha, do you know what's happening?" Let me tell you, it was all just our scheme. I immediately felt confused, not knowing what they were up to with these tricks. Then my mind became hazy, as if they had just drugged me. Immediately, I realized that this statue must have been problematic. I instantly felt faint and passed out. At this moment, they stared at me and laughed. "Ha ha ha, your acting was truly excellent. Now we've succeeded in catching this prey. I never thought this girl would be so gullible. What a pity, otherwise we would have made a fortune." Just thinking about it makes me furious. But oh well, this girl can be sold for 300 million, then we'll split the money evenly, okay? All right, we're long-term partners, so of course we'll split the money for you. So they laughed with satisfaction. Meanwhile, a car arrived and an elderly man stepped out. He immediately said, "Hey, how's our merchandise?" "Oh, your merchandise is fine. We gave her knockout drops and she's unconscious now. Now, give us 3 million and take her to Cambodia." The man also agreed, then took out 300 million and gave it to them, while also starting to pull me into the car, saying, "All right, this merchandise is good, I really like this item. Now your work is done, leave." So, after receiving the money, they left. Meanwhile, I was being driven to Cambodia in that car. I never would have imagined that it was all just a play for them to sell me to Cambodia. And through this story, I want to tell you one thing. Don't trust anyone's deceitful words about superstitions, because it's certainly a scam for them to turn us into something to profit themselves. First, they will make us buy the items they sell. Second, they will take us directly to Cambodia after arranging to meet us to resolve mysterious spiritual problems. The truth is not like that. There are no ghosts. Instead, they make us hallucinate by making us inhale some kind of drug. And it's because of these hallucinations that naive and gullible people end up with such heartbreaking fates. I hope no one will end up like me, kidnapped and taken to Cambodia to become their slave, enduring a brutal life there with punishments worse than hell itself. Mia was sleeping when she suddenly heard strange sounds. Immediately, she opened her eyes and woke up. Looking around, she saw nothing. A shiver ran down her spine and she thought to herself, "It's just the wind, why should I be scared? Am I still haunted by the memory of selling that girl to Cambodia? Oh, whatever," she thought. "I have money now, my life will be more prosperous, and that girl is probably suffering terribly." Thinking this, she laughed to herself with satisfaction. Meanwhile, a voice began to echo behind her. "Mia, I died an unjust death. Give me back my life." Hearing that ghostly voice, she immediately turned around and saw a black silhouette with disheveled hair. Overwhelmed by fear, she fell to the ground. Meanwhile, the spirit continued to approach her with eyes full of bitter hatred. Now it lunged and choked her tightly as she thrashed and struggled in terror. "No, let me go, let go. Don't kill me." Now, ghostly laughter echoed incessantly throughout the room. After a moment, the sound vanished. When the rooster crowed, dawn was breaking. Mia woke up in a state of panic and began to question herself. So, it was all just a dream? Why was that dream so real? Is that woman really dead? It's been over 2 years, could she be coming to haunt me now? Still lost in her thoughts, a cold gust of wind blew past. In fear, she hugged her body, looking at the faintly lit dawn sky, sighing as she tried to dismiss those thoughts. No, none of it is real, it's all just a dream, because I'm still haunted by the past. There's no spirit at all. I even tricked her that day. With this thought, she went to the bathroom for her morning routine, then entered her room to put on her uniform. Today was her first day applying for a job at the Goo Corporation, and she hoped everything would go well. After getting everything ready, she went downstairs for breakfast, then got into her luxurious car and drove off. What's more, ever since she sold her friend to Cambodia, her life had become much better. She no longer lived in poverty. A moment later, as the car was driving through the woods, a woman suddenly ran in front of her car. This startled her greatly. She quickly stopped the car. The woman stared intently at her and smiled. "Hey, the tragedy of your life is about to begin." Mia heard the woman's words and felt confused. She got out of the car angrily, swung her hand and slapped the woman, saying, "Hey, what do you mean? What kind of demonic nonsense are you spouting? Don't talk rubbish like that, or I'll give you a few more slaps." The woman chuckled eerily, then placed a hand on Mia's shoulder, making her shiver. "Your soul's flame has extinguished. You will pay the price for what you have done." Hearing this, Mia couldn't control her anger. In a moment, she pushed the woman to the ground, then saw a rock by the roadside. She picked it up and violently struck the woman. Now, the woman was dead. Mia was utterly horrified, but when she looked around, she saw no one. She quickly moved the body and the rock to the edge of the forest, thinking to herself, "Everything you're suffering now is your own doing. I was already annoyed by last night's dream, and now you're scaring me again. So, your death is well-deserved. I've even sold someone to Cambodia, so what's there to fear from a woman like you? Your death means nothing to me. You're just like a toy." So she immediately threw the woman into the river along with the rock, then got back into her car. Soon, she drove away with the intention of returning home to change her clothes. But she didn't know that a dark shadow was staring intently at her from within the trees, like something lurking in a cunning conspiracy. Back home, she changed into new clothes, then smiled brightly. So everything is over. I'll act as if nothing happened regarding her death. Everything was swept away by the river, leaving no trace. Even her face was disfigured, so how could the police ever find the culprit? So, she remained at ease, pleased with herself. Soon, she drove her car to the company for her job application. After a while, she arrived. Now, she stepped out of the car and entered the company. As she walked through the door, a woman kept staring at her, as if something about Mia caught her attention. Now, she entered the application area. She immediately sat down, looked at the manager and said, "Hello, sir, I'm here to apply for a job. Here is my resume." After receiving her resume, he immediately spoke. "All right, we will review it and let you know when you can start." So he reviewed it and was done in a moment. He immediately announced, "All right, your resume is excellent, you can start tomorrow." Hearing this, she was very happy, then returned home. Back home, she lay on her bed and laughed. "Ha ha ha, so I have a job. I'll definitely hold onto this job tightly." Still lost in her happy thoughts about having secured a job, strange sounds suddenly began to echo from under the bed. "You killed me, give me back my life, give me back my life." In her fear, she immediately bent down to look under the bed, and a pair of black hands immediately grabbed her head and dragged her inside. In terror, she struggled to break free, but it was all in vain. At this point, her head kept hitting the wall, after which she managed to escape. Immediately, she ran outside in a panic. "No, it can't be. Is that a ghost? She's really dead, and now she's come back for revenge. She wants my life." Still lost in her thoughts, she sighed, and after a moment regained her composure, telling herself, "I'm sure this is just my imagination. There are no ghosts in this world. Even if there are, I'll definitely kill it because I've already killed it once." At this point, she decided to leave. She sought out a shaman to ask if he had anything to help her kill that female ghost. Now, the old shaman stared intently at her and said, "Ah, what a tragedy. Your forehead has a dark color, which means a demon is following you. Take this, it can protect you." Hearing this, the woman took the item the man offered. With self-satisfaction, she laughed, "Ha ha, now you can't do anything to me, demon. Everything will end when you can't get your revenge on me." Now, after paying, she was about to leave when the man continued, "Hey, come back tomorrow, understood? Then I will help you exterminate that demon. I believe it won't be able to harm you anymore then." Hearing this, she agreed to his words, then decided to return home. Now time passed, and soon it was evening. She got into bed to look at her phone. While watching, suddenly, a lot of blood began to appear on her phone. It incessantly streamed from the screen. This terrified her, making her throw the phone aside. In anger, she spoke up, "You damn demons, I killed you once and I can kill you again. Don't think those scare tactics can frighten me." Hearing her words, the demon immediately burst into loud laughter and replied, "Ha ha, I never thought you'd be so bold, not even afraid of a demon like me. That's good, then let's see if you're scared when I appear and even take your life." Now the sound of incessant knocking on the door echoed, as if someone was banging from outside. Inside, she was somewhat scared but still didn't forget to tell the female ghost, "Listen, no matter what you do today, you can't harm me. Keep knocking, I don't care at all." So she decided to get into bed to sleep, while the door kept being knocked on, and then suddenly, it burst open. To her bewilderment, creaking sounds now echoed incessantly. As cold gusts of wind began to blow in, she felt as if someone was walking in the room. Now, the demon's ghostly voice said, Listen, I will kill you now that I'm inside. At this moment, the demon moved closer and closer to her, then reached out its hand towards her when a source of yellow light appeared. In a moment, that light blasted it away. Hearing the demon's wails, she sat up, then saw the sight of it lying on the ground and laughed loudly. Ha ha ha, I thought you would be able to do something to me, but I never expected you couldn't do anything at all. Now, quickly try to touch me one more time. Hearing this, the female ghost felt extremely annoyed. She didn't know what to do in this situation. When she had protective magic, the ghost now began to advance towards her, then reached out its hand and choked her, saying, "Hey, I killed you once, so killing you a second time is just routine. So what if you're a ghost? Now you will die by my hand, just like how I sold you to Cambodia."